You got a sweatshirt on over there. What are you trying not to turn the heat on until you leave for Florida?
Huh?
I said,
Yeah.
I see.
No, listen. I probably, unlike you, was outside today, and it's cold.
Okay. How cold is it? Either way, did you
It's
hear?
cold.
Did you have the heat on in your house?
The heat in my house is at 69 degrees, and that's why. What's the heat in your house?
71.
Oh my God! Good for you. Good for you.
And I sleep with the windows open.
I don't do that.
I'm only joking, but I know how that might bother you a little bit. So you really did have the heat turned on, though? You sure?
Joey, the heat was turned on a month ago.
Wow.
First cold snap, I said, if I now wait until it really gets cold, the thing won't go on. so, so I turned it, it clicked, you got heat. I said, oh, this is good. So here we are.
What do you think? You think you're going to go to Florida if things stay how they are?
Not if they stay how they are. No, I'm actually, you know what? If I miss Florida that much, I'll turn the heat up to 71. What do you think?
Hey, listen, I don't know if that's going to make a difference, but you could always go somewhere tropical for a couple months, like one of these islands that only has a couple hundred cases.
Yeah. Well, actually, we checked with our friends down in Franklin and whatever the county we would live in the county where we have a lot of friends and
Appalachia.
yeah, Apalachicola. They have since the virus started, between the two of them, they got 8 deaths, and there's about, I don't know. Right now, there's 35 current cases. But it would seem so far the cases aren't dying. They're cases. They're in the hospital.
Well, I would say my advice would be to go. You're not flying,
Yeah.
driving, and you're going to go somewhere. If you're going to isolate in New York, why not be warm and isolate in Florida? That would be my thought process.
Are you trying to get rid of me for a reason?
No, I'm just telling you my thought process. If I could,
Well, here's what I'm thinking. We take off. I don't know where we're going to stay, but we got to go through. We're not stopping in Jersey, obviously. We're not stopping in Delaware. Probably not stopping in Maryland. Probably somewhere in Virginia.
Yeah, so you go to Virginia.
I got to look at last year's schedule. I know last year we stayed in South Carolina, and then we stayed in northern Florida. I don't know.
I mean, if you're really that concerned about where to stay, just go and Google cases in an area. Southern Virginia, Google cases, I bet you by the beach isn't as bad as other places, or look for one of those, small towns that has a hotel. All you're going to do is sleep and get on your way.
Yeah.
But yeah, why stay and be cold in New York if you don't have to? I mean, if I could leave and run the business from a warm climate, I would.
So let me ask you something. You make good points. Are you trimming that beard? You look like you're trimming that beard.
I'm not trimming the beard.
It's a slow grow. Look at mine. Ooh, how lustrous.
Yeah.
And only 2 weeks. Imagine
that. You're a fucking liar. Yeah, so we're gonna add a twist to No Shemba this year.
What are we doing?
Well, first, let's remind everybody what No Shemba is. It's No Shave November, where everybody that participates shaves before November 1st, and then for the whole month of November, we let our beards grow. And the idea is that we donate money to a cancer charity that you would normally spend on trimming your beard or whatever the case is.
$20.
Yeah, but I mean, for you it's 20. For other people, you never know.
Okay.
But what we do is Colony donates $100 per team member that completes it. And this year, some people remember last year we did a GoFundMe for a friend of ours who was fighting cancer, unfortunately.
Poor guy, yeah.
But this year we're going to have his family decide, not publicly. I don't know if they really want to be involved with that, but we're going to ask the wife and the daughter and the son if, where they want to donate the money, if it's to the place that helped them or whatever. But it's all for a good cause. Anybody listening that wants to potentially donate to where we donate, as soon as the family tells us where they want to go. We haven't asked them yet. We do keep in touch with them. When I say we, not me directly, but Chris does, the director of operations, just to see how they're doing. So he's going to ask them, and then we'll let everybody know. But the twist, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to let you cut my hair.
Ooh, they get one of them. Zzz.
Let's not get crazy. I'm going to let you cut the bun.
Wow.
The bun is long enough now that I can donate it to Locks for Love. So we're going to cut it. It's going to be,
So I can't, I was thinking of cutting it and then spraying it with Krylon. That's like a liquid plastic, and put it inside a case. It got to be worth money, no?
well,
How come there's no light where you are? Light goes in and out, in and out.
because my head blocks the camera.
Oh, okay. Anyway, all right, no problem. I got the shears here.
It's not going to be shears, Hammer.
Yeah, I'm going to use that thing I used to trim the hedges.
No. But we're going to cut it. Do you know what Locks for Love is?
Yeah, you give your hair to, and they make a wig out of it for some person that's got cancer or whatever, that lost their hair, right?
It's cancer. It's all tied into the Noshemba piece.
Okay, whatever. Are we getting any press on this?
Well, I'm pretty sure we'll break the internet.
Yeah, but we got to get in a couple of the TV stations, because I notice the political shit is dropping off.
Oh, they need something new, right?
Yeah, some other stuff, because I think well, we're not supposed to talk politics here. Anyway, I am still annoyed that I'm still getting excessive emails from certain people. And I expect that once Trump decides to pack it in, I won't be getting 150 to 200 emails a day.
Usually at the bottom of those emails, if you scroll all the way down, you can unsubscribe.
Well, I found something better. I look at it real, zzz. I find maybe one or two I want to keep to read. I click on select all, and I click the checks off those two I want to keep, and then I hit a button and boom.
Look at you using technology.
Yeah. You didn't know that, did you?
Yes. I am surprised.
So let me ask you something.
Yes.
Let's talk to the important news. Did Cadence win this weekend?
She won the first game, not the second game.
Did they move her up again?
Yeah, so the second game was with the team that she's been playing with.
Right.
They lost, I think it was like 4-1 or 4-2. And then they won the first game, which was with the next level team.
Or age appropriate group?
I would probably skill appropriate, because they're all the same age. So there's A, B, and C. There's A, B, and C teams. And because she started late last year, they just put her on the C team. There was no trying out. Anyway, and there is no trying out really, unless you're an amazing player or you prove yourself, because true to suburban America, there's neighborhood politics involved. as you'll recall when I played youth sports. But sometimes what's good about it is she's a good player, and they had no choice but to put her on the second team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But other people are on that team that suck, and the A team is a little bit more fast-paced, and some of the kids certainly belong there, but some of them don't. So, but the problem is that what I don't think parents really think about until it affects their kids, and then they probably don't think about it either, is you tell these kids that there's a tryout, and then they all get put on the same team anyway. So,
You know what? Well, the thing that hurts the kids too, wouldn't you rather be on a team that you're going to play and and you're playing people your own skill and you actually have a good time, as opposed to you playing with these people that are so much better than you? And if that's the case, you probably get put in once in a while, or you and yourself. The kids are not stupid. They're like, I'm really not as good as these people. So you give them a thing that they're not as good. If you bring them up level to level as their skill grows, much better.
listen, and some people will disagree with me and have disagreed with me, but I felt like Cadence was upset that because she knows that she knew that she shouldn't be on the regular team she's on. So she
What, that C team?
when they first did the tryouts, and she, kids aren't stupid. She saw it was all the same kids in all the same groups, so she was upset, crying and stuff. And I just told her, like, listen, this happens in life. And I told her about the politics and that, and she even knows. She goes, oh yeah, so and so's mom is on the this, and that's why she's on the A team. And I said, that I don't know if that's true, but she knows. And I'm sure I'll get in trouble at some point where Cadence tells some little kid, you're only on that team because of your parents. But I have no problem dealing with that. Like, as long as it's true. And people have said, why do you talk to your kids like adults, and why do you tell them this stuff? I remember being a kid and having those realizations where maybe you or mommy did not tell me the full truth. I know you never did that, but in a sense, everybody
Never did that.
right. Everyone that
No, I probably did it all the time.
yes, but everyone thinks they're protecting their kids by making up a story about something like this, like, oh no, it's just, you'll get it next time, instead of just saying, yeah, you should be on the other team, but because of politics and people in the neighborhood, their kids get that spot, and you're just gonna have to shine here.
I did tell you the truth one time. You were on some team, and to me, it was hands down, you were the best player. But some other kid's father was the assistant coach.
Oh yeah.
And you're telling the coach, you don't know what you're doing. What the hell are you doing? And after they picked him, you said to me, I don't understand. I said, listen, you are the best player, but when you tell a coach he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, probably you're not going to get picked as the MVP. Okay? That time I told you the truth.
Yeah, and it's a tough deal, right? Because you tell your kids the truth and they don't fully understand it. And it's difficult with my kids because they don't always fully understand it. And they say, but why? Because they're innocent and they don't understand corruption and schemas and stuff like that.
You got to start teaching them.
No, I am. And it. So, whatever. But anyway, she had a good game. Both my kids want to play professional sports, which is good, because then I say, my plan is, you want to play professional sports, here's what we got to do. You got to practice. You got to cadences. Like, there was a girl on the team in the second game that was a monster. I mean, she kicked 2 goals from a place that I don't even know if I could kick 2 goals, and she was 10 years old, right? And Cadence was basically like, oh my, she's so good, blah, blah. I said, these are the type of kids that you have to play, and you have to beat, or at least be as good as them to get to the next level. And I just,
you know what, the higher, how can I put, the more advanced players you play against, the more advanced you become.
right. And look, and I explained to them the same way in business. I say, you're going to have you're going to have friends, and then you're going to have people in either your business circle, or if playing ice hockey or soccer is your business, then you have to go and play the best. And I just talk about it. Like, you see, when I talk to people about business, I talk to a wide variety of people. When I talk to them about business, because, we got the not pop sockets, what do they call? Fidget spinners.
Oh,
And this weekend was like, I mean, these are the conversations I have with them. We got the fidget spinners. They paid for them, right? So I got 150. I'm trying to make it a contest, although I'm being told that I shouldn't put myself in a contest. But not that I'm going to win. But we got 50 fidget spinners each. And I explained to them, each fidget spinner could be worth $60 to them, right?
yeah.
If they get one of their little friends to sell their parents on my services. So I told them, I said, look, you pay, and I make them do the math. I said, these fidget spinners cost $165 when it's tax and shipping and everything for each of us, right? So then I'm like, how much? You have 50. If each one makes you $60, how much do you make? You know, so you see them both like doing the math in their head, their eyes. Cadence is like 3,000. I'm like, right. She's like, so I make $3,000. I'm like, no, you got to subtract the 165. And she did the math on that. And she's like, so I make this. And I said, yes, but you have to then figure out your time. I just went through the whole thing with them, and they get a little like, I don't know if bored is the right word or overwhelmed. So then the key that I figured out is saying, are you guys done right now? And we could pick this up later. And they say, yes, please. Right. But then they get it. So we'll see.
The reason you think they're bored is that it's more like they're thinking you're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I made 3,000. Now you're taking away this. Now you gotta get, how much am I gonna weigh that with? You know, it's when you're a kid, if that's what you're gonna make, you don't say I gotta pay anything else. This is what I made. You don't figure out your time and stuff like that.
Right.
But you can phrase it like when you get older, you can figure out your time.
That's what I'm telling them. And I told them what, I said the different things that we could charge for our time in our industry. I told them about if you have to go be a witness in some kind of pest control thing, you could charge X amount. I just try and let them understand it. And then like we're sitting down later and we were talking, but nothing crazy about fidget spinners. And Avery was like, Daddy, why are there taxes? And he was like, how much are they going to take of that 3,000?
Oh, you broke the bubble now.
No, when they work, but you remember when they worked for me in the summer, I took money out for taxes.
I know.
Back in their bank.
They didn't have the opportunity to make $3,000.
No, but whatever, they'll figure it out. Anyway, so it is, the kids are the future. So listen.
Yeah.
You have some questions from Mr. and Mrs. America out there.
Oh.
So here's one of the first questions. My company is about 95% residential, and we always take a hit during the winter. Do you have any suggestions for taking us to the next level?
Well, I suffered the same problem, and I realized I had to get more commercial stops. But in any event, what I would suggest now that I'm a little wiser, I would try to sell 12. I would try to sell a yearly program. So I think you take their credit card and you charge X amount of dollars per quarter or per month or something. Say like you're getting $100 a month. You want $100 a month, but you're only going to go there maybe 8 times, right? So to be safe, I would say it's $900 for the year, and I would divide that by 12. I'll make it easy for you. I'll break it down to monthly payments.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you remember the residential, when we spoke about building a residential business with Carmen, he specifically said that his salesman is a beast and gets all the money up front for the year. And he had to tell him, oh, slow down. Let's charge him month to month, which somewhat answers this question and somewhat doesn't. So granted, if it's better for cash flow, right? And some of this comes down to managing your money and having a budget. And you know, if you have 100 customers and each customer is worth $600 a year, then you know what you're making, right?
Yeah, if you get their credit card and they agree to sign a contract. See, but here's the thing. I would ask this person, because I never had contracts with, I mean, back in the dark ages, I never had contracts with a commercial, and I built the business on residential customers. So I I would definitely get a contract. You got to sign a contract.
Yeah, you
You
definitely.
can break it down any way you want, but I think he needs to get a better balance of commercials.
Well, yes, you could. Well, you could and you could not. It depends on what business model you want. You just need to have your model running properly, right? You know how many customers you have. You do your budget off that, right? So if you have 100 and they're worth $600 a year. This is like in a minimal quarterly program. Then you do your budget on that. That comes out to $5,000 a month. That's my budget, right? Even if you get the 60 grand every May, right? Everybody pays up front. You budget the money, right? That would be my first, in this winter to this person, that would be my first thing, is to do your budget right away and know who's coming back, who's not, what your recurring revenue is versus your one times, right? You can even guesstimate in your forecasted budget your one-time services, mosquitoes, ticks, whatever, for the summer months. But you want to know what your budget is. And then what I would also suggest is maybe for the winter months, if you're not on Google, get on Google immediately right now. Get your wildlife license, whatever state you're in. Start doing wildlife in the winter, which is when you're going to get the most wildlife coming into people's homes. So that's a good way to do it. You could even pivot to an add-on service. A lot of people in certain states do Christmas lights. The problem that we discussed with that when talking with Carmen is a new skill set, the ladder work, and being professional. Other people get into HVAC or another home service that you could add on to pest. But if you just want to stay with pest, then pivot to what residential people deal with in the colder months. If you're in a cold climate, which I got to imagine this person is in a colder climate since it dips. And then, the other typical business stuff, hiring, layoffs. You would definitely want to keep a core group through the winter. But I think it really comes down to budgeting and marketing and just making sure that you have it all there.
Well, no matter what you do, the budget's always important. And marketing, extremely important. So those two things, part of sort of the heartbeat. If you want to, you need those two things. If you don't have them, your business is just floating along. It's at the whim. You're not driving it. You're not being proactive. You're being reactive, or you're just doing nothing. just letting life happen.
Right. Like, there's somebody that I know in Middle America that has a 90% residential business, and he busts his ass for like 6-7 months a year, and then travels all over the world in the cold months. And he has it budgeted. He's probably doing $2 million a year in Middle America. That's like doing $10 million in New York. And he's crushing it, and he's enjoying life. He's relatively young, recently married, and they're just going around traveling the world. He has his core group of guys that stay on for the winter. He's still with technology, still involved with the phone, emails and stuff. It's not like he's going away for months at a time and not checking in, but he has these people. He has a guy running it. He has about 4 or 5 branches, and he's figured it out. And he's got the Google ads going. They're doing minimal work in the winter. They're responding. You got to remember also with residential customers, they still might get something in their house. So you're still going to need guys to work. I mean, roaches don't go away in the winter. Rodents don't go away in the winter. Yeah, clap your hands. That's right. So it's not like he's shut down. He keeps his guys on. He has the model that we spoke about, the subscription model where the people pay every month. And then again, he's at 2 million. We don't know what this company is at. If it's a startup, then it could be at 100,000 or less. And then it's just them working. But either way, there's a ton of ways to do it. And I think the marketing piece online is big. And maybe in the colder months, you dump more money.
You're stuck. Now you're back.
Mac. What's the last thing you heard?
He was at 2 million. He was away for a couple of months.
Yeah, so he goes away.
And he's got a crew that takes care of it. You still get calls in the fall because there's roaches and mice.
Yeah.
And basically, the guy's got a good crew.
Yeah, and I think the key is dialing into your business, whatever it is, making sure you have some kind of business model.
Yeah.
Just following through on it.
Yeah.
And look, everybody, as far as online, the future of home services is, hey, Alexa, or hey, Google, or hey, Siri, and you're going to say, I need an oil company. I need a bed bug company. And then whatever device it is, Google, whatever, is going to say, I have 3 nearby service in your end, and here is the one with 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. Would you like to hear a review? And everything that you normally would do online with looking up a company is going to be spoken to you from one of these devices. And then the savvy customer is going to say, okay, call Colony Pest. And they're going to call direct from Alexa, Google, whatever it is, and they're going to get you. And you're going to pay for that lead, most likely. The same way with Google Guarantee, you pay for leads and whatever else. So the key is to beefing that up. You got to make sure that you have reviews. If you're not using a review company, holler at us. We know a very good one, but reviews are the lifeline to a residential.
Wait a minute. So you go to Google and you type in, I want an oil company.
Well, what I'm saying is you don't, right now you could type that in. You could type pest control near me. You could even get more specific. Bed bug detection, bed bug eradication, bed bug elimination, roach control. You type that in. Look, see, Siri's listening. Nothing, Siri. You could type all that in, right? And then if you go guaranteed, which you should be in pest control, if not, call our friends at Search Kings. You Google guaranteed, plus you have a good amount of reviews and recent reviews, then you go into the algorithm to pop up, right? So that's happening, right? And there's other pay-per-click and search engine optimization and all these other marketing tools for online that you want to be doing depending on how aggressive you want to get. There's banners, there's everything. And for the person that's listening, if your winter is that rough, you might want to go as far as Google Guarantee, having banners, and also doing pay-per-click, and then making sure the key to all of this stuff, marketing and the digital marketing, is you have to measure it and make sure it's working. So even by the words you use, right? Like if you want to go towards bed bugs at a specific time, then you gear it all towards the bed bug search, and then you monitor, look at the data, and see if it worked. And if it didn't work, then you tweak it. Now, I don't know how to tweak any of this. You do this with your marketing team or partner, whoever's doing it. But instead of typing it into Google, what I'm saying is the future saying, hey, Google, hey, Alexa, and talking it, and them talking back to you and being able to do the whole experience directly through that device in your home, and all the way to calling the company. And then after your experience, probably speaking to them again and giving them a review instead of doing it on your phone.
I'm laughing because Siri interrupted you. So you know I'm watching that little dog, right?
Oh, Leo.
Yeah, Leo. And he's supposed. Uh, I got him 80% crapping outside. So he craps on his diaper. I don't know if he needs glasses or whatever. There's always like a little bit, like maybe as big as a raisin that he misses with. The other ones that he hits it with is twice as big. And this guy's, I'm like, really? You crapped. Anyway, I come in here and I go, oh, you dumb, bat, 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 bat. And all of a sudden I hear, is that really necessary? And I'm like, it's freaking Siri. Heard what I said? Is that really necessary? Yes! Oh, anyway. All right. So that's the best I could tell you about. What I did, what I learned was I need commercial stops. And I went and got them.
Well, look,
It took me 10 years till I was happy with it. I got them.
that's a good balance. As everybody knows, we are switching to the residential game a lot heavier, and we are shifting our marketing, shifting the business model, if you will. We're going to keep the commercial, but now we'll end up with two divisions, commercial and residential.
Okay. Who's in charge of residential?
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Oh, okay. Johnny Carson.
Who's in charge? I mean, technically, I guess it's my baby till I hand it off to somebody else.
Okay. That's true. It usually works. Well, works for me.
All right. So here's another question. Last year we learned about a lot about canines, and this year we got hit with shutdowns. Obviously, all things COVID. How is your canine staying afloat? It isn't.
We're not exclusively canine.
No, but it does still. But the division is it's a good question. I've been very candid about it. It's staying afloat really from the residential piece, the commercial residential, and I say that because the high end or the big apartment buildings we consider commercial accounts, not residential. So a lot of the K9 is down 55% as of October. At the end of
What's the break? How much you got to be to break even?
On the K9,
Yeah.
like $100,000.
No, but I mean, if you're down 55%, how much of a percentage would be break even? You know what I mean? Like these restaurants are operating at 25%. They can't, it's like a slow death.
So here's the thing, right? We're down 55%. So we had two teams. We took one of the handlers, and he is doing pest control now.
Where's the dog?
No, he still has the dog.
Oh.
We still have the expense of the canine, but his payroll, or the liability of his payroll, let's say, has shifted to pest control.
Right.
So he does pest control 3 days a week and runs the dog 2 days a week, right? And then we have the other full-time handler who's handling majority of the work. So by shifting the pay obligation to the pest control side, two things happened. One, we didn't need to hire a new technician. We already had somebody with us for 3 years that was a service tech for pest for 2.5. Well, maybe he's 4 years now. Was service for 3 years, then shifted to the K9. He's been doing that for a little bit over a year. And now, instead of losing his job and his benefits, he's gone back to pest control. So that was the way to offset it. Because of that offset, we won't really take a loss in the K9 piece. It feels like a loss, but
just hypothetically, if you were strictly in the canine business and you were down 55%, would you be losing money? Would you be breaking even? Would you make a few dollars? What would you do? No other income.
I would be the only one working to make money.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So
how much? So you'd be okay.
I would be fine, but I would be looking to diversify for sure.
Yeah, I know. I got that.
I would be okay, but I wouldn't make anywhere near the money that I make right now.
Right. I understand that. But you would survive.
Yeah. And look, I think the entrepreneur, listen, 17 years in the game, I would survive one way or the other, you know, and we always talk about um, working on your business and not in your business. And I always tell people, like, there's a bunch of people in front of me before the shit hits the fan, right? So we never let it get there. But you know, as much as I don't necessarily want to go out and run a route every day because I just feel like my talents are better suited in what I'm doing, I'm not above that. I have no problem doing it. I mean, when COVID first hit, I had everything in my car just thinking it was going to be potentially me. You know what I mean? At some point running, because, you know, at one point we had 7 people with potential COVID. It was nuts. So anyway, but that's the canine is rough. It's very difficult to diversify a canine business if you're strictly thinking about canines. You don't want one dog doing, first of all, you don't want a dog to know multiple scents or alert on multiple scents. In the very beginning, when it was the Wild West in canine scent detection for pest control, you had guys selling dogs saying, "Mom, my dog is trained on termites and bed bugs." And immediately the best question was, so when they alert on the wall, what are they alerting to?
Yeah.
You don't know. So you had people doing, then they said, oh, we're going to do mold and bed bugs, same question. But mold, anyway, mold dogs, we're not a fan of, but that's a whole nother story. So if you're going to diversify a canine business, there's a company out of the Chicago area that started in bird dogs and had a very good business where they would go around and scare birds off corporate properties, right? With the dogs. She diversified into bed bug scent detection with those dogs and continues to diversify. Very small woman. I think the last time she was over $10 million between the 2 dog companies and decided to go into full-blown pest. So she's probably crushing it. I haven't seen her in a long time. But I would say if your canine is that messed up, like ours, if it's down 50, if it was down 30% and I was only canine, I would have went right into pest control. Even if you just start with bed bugs to diversify, you know, because it goes hand in hand, the canine scent with the bed bugs. But it's tough. Again, you could do some marketing, but it's that would, if you're going to do marketing and you're down 50% or whatever your hit is, you need to do calculated and strategic marketing exactly where you are, and you need to watch it daily, because now you're spending money that you normally wouldn't spend while you're making less money. So you just need to stay on top of it. But my advice, what we're doing is we shifted some team members to pest, and we're just following it. And the other good news is that the pest side of the business can carry the canine division if it has to. So I'm in a decent spot, even though we're down 55%. I feel it, but
Yeah, but you know, I think you're going to have a big resurgence in that because this stuff they're talking about, the vaccine. There's more and more companies saying, and now they started, I forget the name of the company, had 90%. That's okay. Now, I like this other one for 94.5 because they say it not only works, but there's no downside. They haven't found any downside to it yet. And if you ever see these, this can cure this. It might cause this and it might have side effects. Oh, it might cause, you would have trouble breathing.
the best, my favorite. If your rectum is bleeding, call your doctor right away.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that, man. But yeah, so there's a lot. So we are very heavy. Also, the dog was very big in corporate office space, right? And as you know, right before COVID, our DMV master salesman literally sold 7 figures of dog work. not 6, 7.
Yeah, but they held off.
Well, you know, one of the places was a retail chain that had to shut everything down, and the other one was a university. Um,
Yeah,
so
but there's still you have quite a chance to hook them up once the shit stops.
yes, so the retail chain, I'm not 100% sure of because with all things, I mean, yes, but it depends on how they come back from it, and they've changed. So COVID has made them change their business model. They used to go buy plots of land and build these mega factories, right? Or mega stores. And they've decided with all of these large companies, Lord and Taylor, et cetera, all these big box stores going out of business, that instead of building and hiring their own engineers and all this other stuff, they're going to take those spaces in major malls throughout the country.
Ah,
So it may still be good for us, right? Because they're not getting rid of the other stores.
well, you know what I notice about the malls? not not that I ever got any. But when you go into the individual stores and they're like a chain store, they decide who the exterminator is going to be for the country.
Yeah, and it all depends. So we've done some malls, and it depends on the mall's policy. Sometimes one mall that we did, you had to use their exterminator. That was it. You couldn't use an outside company because they wanted, which is a good thought process. You have to use our company because they maintain the mall and they're going to maintain your store too. Because you know what often happens in our industry, people fight. Oh, it's your exterminator that did it. No, it's
And
yours.
not only that, nobody it's not coordinated.
Correct.
Right hand don't know what the left hand's doing.
If you have 18 companies in a mall, as you know, we do a mall. It's an exterior mall. Um, we,
Which mall is that?
you know, it's outside. It's an exterior. I'm not going to name it, but very recently they called and outside a big box store. They were like, "There's rodents outside." All right, no problem. There's not rodents anywhere else on the property, just outside this store. Is it the mall, or did somehow the store get them and the store exterminator not really take care of them? This is a question that nobody really can answer, right?
Yeah.
But if one company was doing the whole thing, it would be no finger pointing. The store would have said, "We're seeing rodents on the exterior," and the pest control company would have said, "No problem." Not, "Oh, we don't do that. That's the mall's property."
Yeah.
Anyway, but so back to the person with the canine. I think, you know, if you haven't diversified already, get into pest. That's the easiest transition from bed bug scent detection, I believe. Um, if you're not into that or whatever, wildlife is not a bad transition to go to. But the thing with canines is trying to build a recurring revenue service model. So what Big Red sold was all recurring revenue. That 7-figure number was going to be guaranteed. You have to do X amount of stores every month, and you have to do X amount of dorm rooms throughout the year, right? At the university. It was guaranteed money. And that is the key to canines. Get some type of recurring revenue. Now, with all things COVID, we probably had just in New York a solid 6 figures, low 6 figures, like 100, maybe 110 of recurring revenue from last year that put it in their budget because they wanted it. Now they cut that budget because of COVID. But the idea is, depending on corporate office space and how it returns, that'll also go back to a certain extent. But right now, with people, all the moratorium on rents and leases and stuff, they can't spend this excess money, I imagine.
They don't have it. Yeah.
So how it comes back, but the key is getting ahead of it, not sitting around and waiting to see if it comes back, is getting ahead of it and getting out there and doing something different, or do a heavy marketing plan targeted to the area that you want to go and to scent detection, if it's bed bugs, which I believe it is. Just target straight to that and stay on top of it and see if it's working, if you're getting hits. But other than that, I think that diversifying your canine business is the way to go.
Okay. I'm with you. What else?
Oh, it's Monday.
Yeah.
What's cracking for the rest of the week? Thanksgiving. You
Yeah,
ready?
Iris is having Thanksgiving at us because Josephine's going to stay there for a while.
All right.
She had no choice because, Josephine's house, you have two choices. You got to walk up a very steep stairs to get to her front door, or you can go into her garage and go through the garage, and then you can walk up a steep stairs to get to her kitchen.
Either way, it's just smart to be in someone else's house that could, God forbid something happens. Did you get her that thing? I've fallen and I can't get up.
No,
All right.
it's not my department is covering fig trees right now. And Josephine is sort of like myself. She's had good health all her life. And why did this happen? I mean, I got over it by saying, fuck it, it happened. And Josephine is wondering, why did this happen to her? And I can't wait to tell her, you're too friggin' skinny. That's why you got knocked over.
What is she though? She's in her 80s, right?
Yeah, early 80s, only 82. She's Marty Katz's age.
All right.
Marty can't make it for breakfast until the day before Thanksgiving.
You think Marty would come to Thanksgiving?
Marty would go anywhere where I would pick him up. Because he can't move his car because the Jews take all the spots, those Hasids. The truth is, he's afraid to drive. He drives the car on Thursdays and Saturdays to shop for food. I said, why don't you shop one day and get everything? Well, I tried, but then I find I don't think Marty's comfortable with driving that car of any great length, not just at night. He's just, he's always tired. You want to invite him. But I want to be paid. That's cruel and unusual punishment being in a car with him.
I
I'm kidding.
I got nothing to do with that.
You know what? Who else is coming to the thing? The kid's gonna be there.
Yeah. It's gonna be.
Uh,
I mean, I
you
don't.
want
What?
to invite him? Invite him.
I'm gonna invite him. He fits in. He fits the under 10 bill.
Yeah, and you know what? I found out Marty used to be enjoyable because you only saw him at Christmas, saw him for any length of time. At Christmas, his birthday, Thanksgiving, and what else? I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And the other time you saw him every like 6 weeks. And now listening to the same, it's all depressing. He has no energy. He has this. He has that. And then he doesn't say it to me because I just scream at him. He's still, even though the election's over, if he talks to Norman on the phone, because Norman, I told him, look at the phone. Doesn't it tell you who's on the phone? I don't do that. That's why you pick up the phone. What do? I look, I see it says Marty Katz. I go, no, not today. So anyway, he's screaming at Norman about Trump this, Trump that, Trump the other thing. Of course, Norman doesn't help any. He goes, well, I stole the election. I mean, even high-ranking Republicans now are saying, well, they're not seeing any. The big thing now is that runoff election in Georgia. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I hope it goes for the Republicans. Otherwise, I think you're going to have to move the company over to one of those Cayman Islands or something.
Well, yeah, and I think everybody is hoping that there remains some type of true check and balances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to. But there's hope, and I think that's partially a good reason why Biden was elected. That there's hope now that they'll actually work together. And you have a history of these groups working with each other, not what they did to Trump or what they did to Obama, even though they still got some work done. But I don't think you're going to have the Republicans just saying no, like the Democrats did to Trump and like the Republicans often did to Obama. I think that's the hope right now for America, is that we will have a government that truly works for us. I mean, you know, I don't want to talk about too much politics, but the second stimulus bill, and there's actually talks about them getting rid of Pelosi and put someone in her seat, which I think is a good idea, personally.
Listen, we need to go out to California. I want to taste some of that ice cream in her two Sub-Zero $24,000 a piece freezers. Did you read about that?
No, because I could give a shit less about it. They all got money. I don't really care. But my point is, stalling the stimulus bill and trying to throw things in there that don't belong there, which happens all the time in politics, right?
Yeah.
But stalling it and not approving it and waiting, saying you want to wait till February in the hopes that you'll have a Democratic House and everything, is politics, and it's not what's best for the American people. And I think that there will be some shakeups over a bunch of this stuff that happened in the Democratic Party, because the people are not happy. We had another split down the middle election. But the hope is that Biden's team will be able to work with the other side and we'll actually get some shit done.
Well,
if Trump was in, it would have been straight. If he would have stayed, it would have been straight blockades against everything. You know what I mean?
yeah, and to go back to the ice cream,
So important. Yes.
the progressives, the socialists, you saw that the Democrats lost a bunch of House seats in the Congress, right?
Yeah.
They only have a majority of 5 or 6 people now, where they had a majority of 20. So they lost a lot of seats. My opinion, those seats were lost because people don't believe in defunding the police and all this other stuff. That's why they lost. But that all-out crazy from Queens,
Mm-hmm.
her and her group are saying the reason they lost it is because Nancy Pelosi did an interview with some guy back in April, and she showed them her house, and she showed them her 2 Sub-Zero freezers, and it was packed with about 13 gallons of friggin' ice cream. And that's the reason that they lost all the seats, because of Nancy. I just think she's 80 years old. Apparently, she finally got her turkey neck fixed, but she ain't got to put the bed sheet around the neck. She's corrupt. Her husband's made a lot of money from things that he's actually won. Imagine that he won the bid on a lot of stuff. I mean, you could say they're all like that. She's just when she talks, she loses her train of thought. She's sure she didn't get where she was because she wasn't sharp, but she's no longer that sharp.
Right. And one thing that I hope comes out of all of this Trump stuff and what's been going on in the country, the one thing that both sides agree on, and when I say both sides, the people, not the politicians, term limits.
Yeah.
You can't meet a non-politician that doesn't agree with that.
Right.
Socialist, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Conservative, far left, far right. Hey, what do you think about term limits? I think it's a great idea. So why don't we have it? Right?
Well, how long would you like they have it here in the city council, 2 term limits. Then you got a guy who put his wife in for the third, boom. She's in for 2 term limits. Then they run for something else. But like de Blasio, what do you think he's going to do? He's either going to get a job in politics, some bullshit job, or he's going to go to work for a nonprofit. He's not going to get a regular job. He wouldn't know how to handle it.
I don't know. He reminds me of like a head coach in the NFL that gets the head coach job for the first time, and then a year or 2 later, you see them on the sidelines. All they could handle was being a defensive or an offensive coach.
Yeah.
He couldn't handle the big shoes, and some people might disagree with me, but he can't. He didn't know how to run New York City.
He was in over his head.
Yeah.
I don't think he could be. He's not. He's not a leader.
No, he might be
He's
able
not
to.
a manager.
I got the book. De Blasio, are you listening? Here's your book. What not to do in politics.
Oh, but he has a mission. You don't understand.
I don't know what it is, but
You know, if I was thinking of mayor, I wouldn't run because he's leaving whoever takes over, him or her, with a shitload of debt.
yeah, but you know what? It might be a good time to take over with debt because COVID is going. But one thing I think Biden is going to do is going to unleash a lot of money for states. Like my hope is, and I think this is a hope of a lot of people, is Trump was a fucking baby. And if you opposed him, he made you wait till the end. And he was like, fuck you. I don't like New York. New York doesn't want the virus. New York will have to wait. Whatever, doesn't want the cure. He's just such a fucking baby, right? If you unleash funds for states, then you allocate it. There's gotta be a way to allocate COVID relief. New York is currently hit the hardest, let's just say, in the beginning. They got to get the most per capita money, right? Here, now this state is the worst right now. We're going to shift resources that way. It shouldn't be, oh, New York is a blue state and they don't vote for me, so fuck them.
We got a lot of stuff when his shit hit the fan. You had the tents in Central Park and the vote.
I'm just making a point because it has been made public that these things.
No, here's the thing. I said it. He wasn't president very long. And you could see what was happening. He was used to being the king of the shithouse for a long time. And he got into this shithouse. And people could disagree with him and they couldn't be fired.
Right. Well, he doesn't understand being a public servant. And that's okay. But being a public servant is a thankless job.
Also, I think that he didn't play the game.
Correct.
Everybody didn't get their little nickel here and there because he wasn't playing it. And the thing that I think where he was very wrong, he's opening up all these wilderness areas to pipelines and shit like that. I read an article, we're the #1 oil producing country in the world now, since we started with the fracking. And that's fine. Why do we need more fracking up where the polar bears are? They're having trouble finding icebergs to live on.
I don't know about that, so I won't speak to it, but I hope that we're in a better place and better on more levels, that America can somewhat heal all the bullshit that has been exposed during Donald Trump's election.
Well, let me ask you this. The rioting demonstration has calmed down. And there's still some demonstrations, and they're good because there's very little violence. And the cops are stepping up and arresting people. I don't know if they let them go or whatever, but if Trump had won, you'd have all this shit going on.
Well, I think to understand in that, I don't disagree with that, and people are opportunistic, certainly criminals, right? We know this all too well. So I think that if you had mass protests for Donald Trump, right? And you got to remember, the Trumpers aren't really protesters.
They had a demonstration in Washington.
Right, but they're not, that's not their thing.
They're not violent. In other words, let me put it another way. They're more affluent.
Oh, I don't really think that's true. If you see some of these redneck shit kickers, they're not more affluent. But
they're not they're not stealing. They're not breaking into stores.
My point is that it's not the Biden supporters or the Democrats doing that. It's opportunistic people. And at certain times, it's people from the other side that were doing it, which was proven in certain parts of the country. But my point is no side is more affluent than the other, right? There's shit kickers on both sides. There's poor people on both sides. There's super bright people. There's super left people. There's super right people. That terminology is just poor, or that thought process is poor, in my opinion. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Politics is tough. Hopefully, we're in a better place.
I hope so. I hope so.
All right. On that note, sir, especially since this is all going to be edited,
So what are you doing today?
I'm going to work, man. It's fucked up.
Why is work fucked up?
I'm just talking shit. I'm going to go in the office and play on my computer.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna go up to Yonkers and play. Oh, hey, guess what? Guess what?
I got to get closer. What?
Josephine pays for our lunches. I don't think Iris has told her yet. But she's got Josephine's credit card, but it's got to buy stuff. We were eating the other day. She goes, no. We worked in Josephine's yard. She'll pay for lunch. Oh, okay. That seems fair, don't you think?
So I don't think Josephine would be upset.
Well, I don't know about that because, well, I'll tell you off screen. Oh, who's going to see this? Joey, you there?
Yeah.
Josephine was bitching about, she had a wonderful room. They treated her very good at White Plains Hospital. She loved it. They were all nice. Then she had to go to this Burke rehabilitation, right? So they put her in, she didn't have her own room. She was in a room with this other woman. She's bitching that the other woman is playing the TV too loud. Iris had to explain to her that the woman's deaf. She's hard of hearing. No, this is not right. Iris did some research. She says, you can get your own private room. Well, get it for me. She goes, it's $400 a day. It's okay, then stay here. She coughed up to $400, man.
Did she?
Yeah. This is unusual. Hey, I'm going up into the attic in Josephine's house today.
Yeah.
The rumor has it she's got millions stashed up there.
Whatever it is, you'll only.
She won't miss a couple of 100,000.
All right, Scooter. Let me get.
I'll let you know how I make out tonight.
All right. I'll take 10% to keep my mouth shut.
All right. So, are we done?
I think so.
Mr. and Miss America, all the ships at sea. Ed Sheehan for Colony Confidential, reminding you to stay safe. Wear those masks, social distancing. Hope is on the way.
Hope is certainly on the way. This is Joey Buns, soon to be Joey Sands Buns. Listen in, tune in to when the big chop is going to happen. I'm sure we'll do it live somewhere just for fun.
It's probably going to be on CNN.
Well, it'll have to be on all news outlets so that everybody knows it's real news.
Well, I want to get it on CNN, Colony Network News.
There you go. All right, killer. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Have a good day. Bye.